Brothers used to be beautiful. The car is powerful in our cognition. Flying bricks cost more all, but today we are big. Come and get a taste of a brand new Ford. Really breaking drones. Because officials say he loses electricity and consumes for 0.3 liters of fuel per fast charging from Shanxi. Wait a minute, is he really reborn? Let's take a look today. First, let's take a look at his space. After all, the officials said that this car mainly has 5 seats. When purchasing or considering this car, I would also be curious about his space. After all, his floor. After adding a large battery, will it affect the space? So let's look at the actual design of the car. Because don't be fooled by his whole design. The whole front is 1,930 millimeters, plus the one he uses. The wide light strip widens the visual aura. And I also made some blackened designs. This sense of movement is also very good. But you don't know that his car is less than from me to 7, and his wheelbase is 2,726 millimeters. Since the official dares to say that it is a big 5, with my height of 1.8 meters, let me test it for you. After sitting in, that's my driving position in front of me. More than 2 punches in the leg, more than 1 punch to the head. And I can feel him. Sofa is fat, softer and in the middle here. Not like other brands. It's made harder. His whole filling is also relatively thick. Plus, it's a full-screen platform. So the whole space is still quite enough. And his sofa, although not particularly long, but he has a certain angle. So in fact, the same is true for the length of the thighs. More in place, and the configuration is like an air conditioner trend. But his charging port only has a port. If there is one more C port, selectivity, the whole thing is a little bit more scalable. Is it still a familiar smell coming to the front row? Through the curtain screen. It's full of 815 chips. The entire fluency is sufficient. But you can see this. The black edge across the screen is really a bit big. So in fact, to a certain extent, affects the texture. In addition, this car is rich enough because it is integrated into Tencent's ecosystem. It's like a map. Love to learn the piano wiki. We use it every day, including WeChat. But his automatic speech recognition is fast. But he doesn't filter some of our crap very well. So, this kind of misidentification often occurs. And his whole interior, there's a certain progressive style. He used sugar in the center console. Only the following paragraph. And us. The upper leg. There are some leather packages. Like down there, it's hard plastic. What about the starting price for his $168,800? Compared with this brand, it's really not that big. The last thing that needs to be praised is this car uses a lot of physical buttons. Including the steering wheel is a physical button. These mid-range adjustments, the main interface, and music. Volume. They are all physical buttons. This air-conditioned area is similar to the Buick one. It is formed to a certain extent. It still feels like a physical button. It will be more nice to use. Here's what happens next. Supercharged parts? What about the Newling repeated one-date car model this time? It uses a large battery of 18.4 degrees. The official said that. He used a Shanxi from the Ningdi era. Overcharged battery. The official charges from 30% to 80% in only 14 minutes. And we just measured it. It only takes 13 minutes to go from 35% to 80%. That and the official statement of the whole performance. It shouldn't be very different. And the point is the whole charging process. His entire charging power, it is maintained in a relatively stable state. I started at 40 kilowatts and presents a slow uphill climb to around 50. Later, it reaches 60% minus 70% before slowly reducing to 30%, 40%. The entire performance, I think the current T-Mix, it's already very good in the model. What do you think? Then I'll put this one on right now. New Ford Color PHEV hits the road. To be honest, experience this car today. Including in Zhuhai, the whole urban area and the expressway have experienced a period of. This car has really a lot of surprises. First of all, this car, using a brand new rail insertion system by 1.5T hybrid special engine plus motor. Add a large battery from the Ningde era, which is composed of. Then this engine is still thermally efficient. There's more than 43%, and the combined power is 270 kilowatts. Peak torque 555 Nm, like when we open it every day. He is still similar to our own brand strategy. It runs in series and runs pure electricity. It gives us fluidity, and the momentum is brisk. The key is that if you cancel at high speed, when you drive directly, the presence of this engine, really, it's pretty low. That is, you need to speed up quickly. You will feel the faint vibration of the engine, and he also used one in great detail. Simulate the volume to cover this. Engine vibration. And it can give you different fun. And the second one is this jack system. The whole name number is really good, right? We're on high speed today, at an average of 100 kilometers per hour. His gas mileage is 6.2. To increase every 100 kilometers. If you live in the urban area, it is after 5 o'clock. This, I think, is for the current SUV. And for such a big car, performance impact is pretty good. And the third is, the chassis of this car is a surprise, because he is using a brand new hybrid system, added a large battery. So he also did a recalibration of the chassis. Like now we're changing lanes a little bit too quickly. You see, the whole movement of following the car is very smooth. And I found that the condition of his entire chassis was... I tend to exercise a little bit, because his will to roll is in place. And the other possibility is the addition of large batteries. Makes the entire chassis of his car. The center of gravity is relatively low, like or when big ups and downs come into the surface. It used to be like the gasoline car. Candidate beating, his problem is gone. So it's really a big improvement. Of course, this car also has some places can do better. For example, his sitting posture is really high. It's kind of like driving a van. The second is that he used a knob to shift gears. Every time you cut from low gear to P gear, turn several gears, then if this L file becomes P file, just press it to become a parking gear. It makes it easier to use. What do you think? So you can see Ford after the lead electrocution. The whole change is really big. It uses less energy as a whole, and it also has the function of external discharge. Like today we are in this camp. He uses external discharge to make some barbecues, or some expansion of the possibility. And this car has the urge to go out and play. Just a self-driving car. There are also bicycles, suitcases, and Tianmu. Just leave it on. Your entire convenience. The level of refinement will be particularly high. So if everyone is next around 15200,000, the budget to buy a car, the new Ford PHEV, you should also consider it. After all, he has really made great progress this time. It kind of broke our understanding. What do you think? Will you choose him? You can leave a message in the comment area. See you in the next video.